Braka, 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 braka. YouTube, YouTube only. Yeah, I don't think they ready. We told you that YouTube was gonna be the new Facebook. Facebook is doing something else. We're coming into great things now. So mysteries and things like that we would normally talk will be live here. Somebody must be at the house. So let us get an understanding of what's really going down here. Down in the ghetto, wax worse, flood of the lake of fire. Now, brothers and sisters, there was a saying back in the Word of God day. It says, touch not the least of my children. Braka, Beethoven keys, Braka, Angel Rolling. Now, this title has been here for a while. Sometimes that happens. I don't have time. I'll be doing different things, but I don't ever forget. But things got added. I had 2 little videos, but now I got way more proof. Way more proof. It's necessary, because those that are put in position, they're not going to talk about it because they about it, or they just too scared. Whatever the case may be, now's the time to share. Because we're not on Facebook, you would have to share this video to Facebook, brothers and sisters. Again, YouTube, HSE-TV Entertainment will be the new Facebook now. And we're going to be doing different things on Facebook. Okay, you may not like it, but it's all for the glory of the Most High. That's just the way the cookie crumbles now. So, Waxworth's flood of the lake of fire. Where could we be going with this? Just think about what's going on in the world. What have we been talking about? What is my main squeeze on leaders? Brother Conscious Soul, right here, both on Facebook and YouTube. Conscious Soul, 2 or 3 manifest. There you go, 2 or 3 manifested, cosmic, confirmed conscience. I'd rather y'all look at that first on HSE-TV. He took sex slave and broke that thing down from heaven all the way down to underneath the earth. I ain't seen a teaching like that in a long time. Boy, stepped all in this message, like this one we on now was made like this. I said, man, you all up in my confirmational crazy conscience, self-lustful desire justified, under the same title of what he was saying. But the real cake that's going to knock y'all muffin tops back is astrosexual, tantra, meditated projections. That one right there. I seen a brother say, I hope y'all got y'all lotions and Mary Kay's. I said, this funny, beat it, the skeet it, nigga. I know he was joking, though. I hope he was. God, Lee, I hope he was. But y'all be funny, man. Y'all say some things I'll be kind of scared to say, because I'll be like, I don't know how that mind would have took that. It said Conscious Soul came back, said, but you telling the truth? And so he saw that too. So, give you a general idea of what happened in the ancient of times. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Sex slaves, but not like how you think. We ain't talking about go to Fiji and see some cartel stuff. Now we talking about invisible forces putting that pipe down, boy. Or what appears to look like putting the pipe down. Some of this happening in people's lives. You need to tell this to your daughters. These spirits don't care. They immoral. So they don't know, oh, it's a baby. They see a private part. Let's get it. We got to take samples. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot to say, so I can send the vibration, because I'm speaking on things I should know. You know what I'm saying? But the Holy Spirit is sick of children going through bullshit. I got to say it like that. That's why I ain't put it on Facebook. Touch not the least of my children. what you see on TV. And if you haven't, I'm going to show you all news clips. Bet you ain't ready for this. Now, if you see that sexual meditated projections,
it's heading back to school.
This is why
Eva Pilgrim is here now with the frightening footage of what parents can do to try to help keep their kids safe. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Lindsay. I'm sure this is something you feel. This is something we as parents can't help but worry about. Someone taking our kids. And safety experts say this time of year, with kids going back to school, walking or waiting at bus stops, it's important to have a conversation with your children about what to do just in case.
Pause. Did we just say that? You know, my mind, the Holy Spirit be like, yep, it be confirming. We say, okay, how old? Your child, you want to, if they see you don't never leave them, they're going to go away. But we wait for an opportunity for you to slip up. That's how your child gets in it. I ain't letting work. You work gonna wait the day or I'm fired. But one thing ain't gonna happen. Me go to work, come home, say my child got sicker. And no, hell no, that ain't an even balance with me. See, stuff with me, if the balance of the scale, it gotta make sense. It gotta make, if I'm gonna do something, it gotta make sense to me. That shit don't make sense to me. So I'm gonna be fired today. Boss, I can't come in. Why? Somebody gotta watch my daughter until she get on the bus. I ain't say I'm not coming into work. Right now, it's not happening. You take it or leave it. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? It's my family. When they get taken, it ain't you, it's me. So, no. So, this lady have to speak. A mother speaks out. Why is she the police? Everybody is on the damn ring bell. I thought that's why we got the security stuff like that. We get to see pictures and faces. That's how you know AI ain't meant for you and your safety.
As kids across the country head back to school, a warning for parents everywhere.
I heard screaming and I thought, and I could hear commotion outside.
You see in this door camera video first obtained by ABC affiliate WFAA, the moment apparent kidnappers tried to take a group of 9-year-old boys. Gina Skolnick, the mother of two of the boys, telling us her kids were having a play date at her house when two vehicles pulled up near them. Her son Zachary sounding the alarm.
So we get onto the sidewalk and we try to skip past.
As a child, I was taught right.
My friends to get into their car.
Some kids be like, our kids ain't ready for all of that. We're gonna wait. You gonna be the same sucker with your kids
off, running and screaming.
I was the first one at the door screaming, someone's trying to kidnap us.
Moments later, you see someone in a white t-shirt and shorts get out of a white SUV running after her son Jonathan. Jonathan says the man was calling to him, trying to lure him into the SUV.
He said, there's a football player in the back of the car. And then he said, get in the back of the car. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't have the change. And I ran away.
The suspect noticing Skolnick with a cell phone camera in her hand, leaving the scene, but not before she was able to get a picture of the license plate. And just miles away, earlier that morning,
the hell they blur it for? Show that so we can all whoop his ass.
In the security video, you see a teenage girl hiding behind a neighbor's car,
hide his license
trying
plate.
to avoid being taken by a man. That car belongs to Shane Burke, who says the teenager came to his door for help.
She said that somebody that she didn't know had been following her, kind of gawking at her, staring at her, making her feel uncomfortable. She was extremely shook up.
Experts encouraging parents to talk to their kids about safety as a new school begins.
This is why the Bible says it takes a village to raise children, son. And that village got to be like mine. You go to Jamaica. They don't play that children crap over there. You go do that funny baloney jump back over there, you might not live to make it back. They gonna get you. We should have laws like that. But because they're into it, they're not gonna make a law. That's why felons can get guns now. That's not for felons, you know, in the ghetto. As pedophile politician got caught up now, he's a felon. That's who that's for, not you. Ain't nothing never for you and me. Not with them. So which one I want to go first to? And we'll do this one first. Sex trafficking ring at school. I showed you the church one, right? Remember? Not too long ago, less than a month. What? The up in here taking the kids? Shining in your face, crying about, where your baby? With you, nigga. And you in here crying, sad in my face.
To the Factor Uncensored, and we thank you for staying around for our second half hour. Now, back in April, we told you about an educator from Klein ISD and her son who were arrested after being accused of running a sex trafficking ring involving some of the students. And now we're learning the backlash after a whistleblower tried to sound the alarm.
It's not just her coming forward and making these allegations to the school about someone.
The ring in school, y'all, it's getting real hectic out here. These days is really wax worse out here, bro. This is crazy. Look, y'all. We're killing them so bad, stupid thing on
on that campus about a fellow teacher, but she also went to the police about it. And nothing was done for months. This predator remained on this campus for over a year. How is it that she remained in these classrooms? How is it that the school did not put her on timeout or put her away from the students, at least until an investigation was done?
And of course, Kedra Grigsby and her son Roger McGee were arrested, but apparently people were told more than a year ago. So how does this happen? We have with us Matilda Zaragoza, joins us here in the studio to talk about this. So you have looked into this story. For people wondering, what happened exactly from your perspective?
I just believe that there was an individual that kind of got inside that school system and, was targeting these young individuals. And again, this happens. This is an epidemic that's happening all over the world.
So while we may be shocked, you're saying this is nothing new.
Oh, this is quite common. This is something that happens quite often. Again, I just had a situation with my kids. They're going to the school. I'm dropping them off. I deal with
See, y'all, this is what I was talking about.
Them know about it each and every single day.
Taraji
and
did
tell me
this.
why they were able to walk out of the school
see
grounds
the thing
and go on to a store down the street.
When I'm about to hit
now, when I
very
came back to
important
argue
part.
this, they're telling me they can't control.
Y'all remember when the talk show with Taraji?
And honestly, they're saying that if they saw something happening right there on the other side of that fence, there's nothing they can do about it. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, how do we combat this? Young individuals, and again, this happens. This is an epidemic.
Pause. Now, she got that short ass dress on, and the camera looking right in her legs. See, this is what I'm talking about. You got to dress like that. Get a towel, handkerchief,
that's
sheet,
happening all
something.
over the world.
So while we may be shocked, you're saying this is nothing new.
Something.
This is quite
do
common.
something.
This is something
Don't do that.
quite often.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, you know what you're doing. You know when you sat in your bed, putting on your damn shoes, that, I'm going to be in front of a camera, and when I see my dress all the way up my thighs. See what I'm saying? You can avoid a lot of stuff. A pedophile gonna look at you. Hey, oh yeah, I'm trying to get her. I'm saying, like, come on, you make yourself vulnerable out here. You get half the time what you deserve. You dress nasty, you get nasty niggas. That's what I'm saying? But if you appropriate, I'm saying you on guard, nothing's gonna come your way, man. Nothing.
And I just had a situation with my kids. They're going to the school. I'm dropping them off. I deal with human trafficking. I'm letting them know about it each and every single day and tell me why they were able to walk out of the school grounds and go on to a store down the street. Now, when I came back to argue this, they're telling me they can't control anything outside of that fence. So in onset, they're saying that if they saw something happening right there on the other side of that fence, there's nothing they can do about it. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, how do we combat this, right? Because nobody's safe anymore. So I feel like just looking for the signs, you have to look at these individuals who are vulnerable. And, these people like this are targeting these young individuals for profit.
Yeah. But what do you do if you have a wolf in sheep's clothing inside a school?
Well, you have to try to look at these people and try to determine, of course, background checks. You want to, you want to acknowledge.
And Matilda, in this case, it wouldn't come up because that's how she became a teacher. She has a clean background.
Crap.
People get into some crazy stuff once they start their careers.
And this can come in all aspects of the school.
Spiritual discernment is the only way.
I know from a fact that we have individuals that go into school and they are actual students that are scouting other individuals to bring them into human trafficking. So this is something that's probably been ongoing. She's probably had a long history of trauma inside of her home, brought that inside of the school. It's money making all day, every day. And she probably figured, okay, here's a big platform where I can.
We don't look at it, but when women be sleeping with these 6, 7, and 8 graders and high school boys, she's a pedophile too. But see, because of the sex, you want to give a nigga some props, like, oh, you out here handling grown women. Nigga, that's a pedophile. She raping this nigga.
I can utilize my profession to gain access to these children and put them out there for human trafficking.
For parents who may be watching this, what would be your best advice to them to make sure their son or their daughter, they're okay?
I always tell everybody, look for the signs. If your child becomes withdrawn, if you start to see excessive drug use, they're acting out, they're being rebellious, they're no longer wanting excessive absences or tardiness, start skipping school, you want to look into these individuals and find out what is happening inside of that school. Your child is just not transforming into another individual for no reason at all. There's something going on.
And of course, I think also for parents out there, you can't be in denial. If you see it, you have to realize it's a possibility.
It's everywhere. I mean, we now have it in the rich neighborhoods. We have it. It comes from the poor neighborhood. It's all over. It's in the schools. It's in the churches. And if you see something and something's going,
bingo, said it's in the churches. You should be foremost number one. Be on the opposite polarity, blasting these stuff out here like that. And you see how she said it? She don't say it like me. I say it in total shock. She says it, shit been going down. It really has. You start getting into the Catholics and the sacrifices of children on pyramids and, Incas, Aztecs, Mayans, Olmecs, and so on.
They consider
start making sense.
False churches. The preachers are false prophets. They don't believe they really have.
All right, we're on the last video.
The spirit, or that they're true, that God recognizes them.
What's the problem with that from your perspective?
I think that's way too exclusive for what Jesus said, that whosoever believes on me will be saved. So that's what keeps the people in, is their fear of going to hell if they leave.
A fundamentalist Christian sect has mostly stayed under the radar for the past century, but it emerged from the shadows recently, revealing a disturbing and shocking secret. The FBI is investigating the group as it faces widespread allegations of sexual abuse. Historian Shuri Kropp, who you just heard from, believes the sect has fewer than 100,000 members worldwide, while followers say there are about 700 in southern Idaho and eastern Oregon. It isn't set up as a nonprofit, and it doesn't have one main leader or an official name. Outsiders call it 2x2s. Insiders call it the way or the truth. The former members say its leaders work to conceal the real truth. So they spoke to us to expose it. For the last 80 years, followers of a little-known Christian sect have met at this field in Parma for an annual regional convention.
Both of these pictures are at the church convention.
Members of what the FBI calls the 2x2 Church also meet weekly in homes, schools, and other public places all over the world, including Idaho and Oregon.
It fits all the checklist of a cult.
For more than a century, the international organization's teachings and activities were largely unknown to the outside world.
I don't know why it has to be so secretive. Like, nobody wants to talk about it.
but former members are talking to 7 Investigate.
It has to be exposed.
There are many victim survivors who do not have a voice. They don't feel safe to share their story.
Coming forward with widespread allegations of child sex abuse.
It is rampant and it's systemic.
To date, a private investigator who runs a hotline for alleged victims tells us she's received allegations against 980 different perpetrators stemming back to the 60s. She says at least 15 have lived or worked in Eastern Oregon and Idaho, while 6 members from the area have been convicted for sex crimes. February, the FBI announced investigating the allegations.
A lot of these perpetrators were just moved around,
trying to identify victims of abuse and people who know about criminal behavior within the group. The FBI got involved a year and a half after an overseer, one of the highest figures in the sect, passed away. After Dean Brewer's death, multiple people told church leadership he raped and abused them.
The accusations, perpetrators just started rolling out, and people started coming forward.
Coming forward on social media and to the survivor hotline, where they accused hundreds of other leaders and members of abuse.
The gaslighting and guilt is what has created such a perfect breeding ground for the pedophilia that goes on.
Survivors and advocates claim it's gone on in Idaho and Oregon and around the world for decades. And they say church leaders concealed the abuse and silenced victims.
When I brought mine up to the organization back in the 80s, I was so silenced and so shamed.
I am shocked that since it is so prevalent and so deeply corrupt that it was hidden for this long, but fear is a powerful motivator.
So this was my first year in the work. This is my first coworker.
Jeannie McElroy spent 11 years preaching the gospel as a minister or worker.
These are all the other ministers that were working in the Oregon, South Idaho area.
Traveling in pairs, abiding by the organization's strict rules for women, and modeling the New Testament ministry by sleeping and worshiping in members' homes.
People would come to us and say that they had experienced sexual abuse, all kinds of abuse, domestic violence, whatever. I would see all these things come to the ministry.
Jeannie says she was sexually abused from infancy until she was 7 in California.
Your abuser, was it somebody within the organization? Yeah, they were an elder and also a family member.
At the time, she denied it was happening, but after another family member shared the same man was abusing them, Jeannie's dad went to the ministers in their area.
So all that was done to this man was he could no longer have meetings in his home. To my understanding, that's accurate. He was never charged. Correct. There's no accountability.
It's all about, forgive, forget, and move on.
Deanne grew up in the group in the Northwest.
This is my family. I was probably about 12 here.
But says that lack of accountability led her and most of her family to leave a few months ago. Their decision came decades after several relatives revealed they were sexually abused.
So my mom, my uncle, brutally raped by a minister as a kid. And my brother-in-law's parents, both of them. And none of those in my family have been reported because the perpetrator's dead now. And it was decades ago,
Deanne wanted to be anonymous.
Even now, I am scared to talk about it. Until you're willing to go out there and get the information for yourself, you're not going to see it.
What information specifically?
How much sexual abuse is happening, how much just immorality and lying, how much unwillingness to change, to put some protections into place against some of this abuse that's happened.
Jeannie says she felt powerless, even as a worker, because she's a woman.
I didn't have a voice to say anything. Like, I could say something, but then I would just get in trouble. So it cultivates an environment of silence. To admit that there are problems in the church would be to undermine everything that's been taught.
While former members say the sect uses scripture to keep people silent,
I hope that victim survivors are believed and heard and supported.
They're now using their voices to speak truth to power.
Generationally, this has been happening, and it has been.
1 Timothy chapter 5. There will be wicked men and religious leaders that will lay up silly women with sins. Latin. How we gonna say the word? We can't see it. It's fake. It's right there in your face. We today say that they simple. They ain't got no brain. No. Every word out of God's mouth predestinated for a soul, they gonna enact it. You ain't fighting that. You can try. You still yield. So I'm BC the Tits Fight, BC the I Vet Group. Messages like this, many don't like. Gotta wonder why they don't like. I said, you gotta save the children, man. Touch not the least. This is what's happening. I showed you the spiritual side. You heard what the witch said. While people pregnant, they be switching souls out and stuff. You go tell somebody that in the church, they gonna think it's science fiction. They supposed to be the spirit masters, though. Yeah. Phony. Yeah, like the book said. Synagogue of Satan niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, then they doing this under the church, just like I showed you the preacher up there preaching on pedophilia and God down with it because he married her. Man, you don't get your sinning ass out of here, bro. That's sin. And the fact you want to use the truth of the power of the spirit to justify it. God dang, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I do know, but I ain't messing with that. But I'd rather show you than tell you. When you hear the horse's mouth talk to you like that, ain't no Brother BC gossiping. Thank y'all for coming out to HSE-TV Entertainment. Braka.